You might get 2,000, you might get 1,000, you might get 5,000. But the two teams who survive this round will share the $10,000. And that's because we've got some generous sponsors here. The Glockner Group is the main title sponsor. Don Perry, Kentucky Farmers Bank, is one of the sponsors. Tom Wolf with the McDonald's Group is one. Big Sandy Superstore is another sponsor. And I'm struggling to remember the rest of them. But they put in the money, and we're gonna give it to you all, whoever those two top survivors are. In the past, we've thought about, well, let's do scholarships. The scholarships go to the parents, to the schools, and you guys never see it. So this money will go to you all, and you can do with it whatever you want. We strongly encourage you to consider taking a part of it, and if you've got a good business idea, turn it into good business. Now, the purpose of this whole meeting is to pick two teams out of the 10 who are going to present. And the job given to the judges is that, to pick the two best teams. And our judges are Don Perry from Kentucky Farmers Bank, Steve Barfield of Chick-fil-A, Warren Watts with City National, and Jessica Adkins with the Black Horse Farm. The way we're going to work it, you've seen who goes first, and you know all that. You're going to get a maximum of 8 minutes from the time you start talking. Derek's going to be the timer, standing in the back. When you talk, if you talk 5 minutes, he's going to hold up his hand, 5 minutes. Then if you keep talking and you get to 7 minutes, he's going to hold up his hand again. That means you've got 1 minute. And if you get to 8 minutes, well, then Don Perry's going to come up and knock you off the stage. But 8 minutes is what is the maximum that you can get this done. So I want to welcome you. I'm the director of the Kentucky Innovation Network office at Ashland. My business is to try to help people start businesses like you all are going to do. And after you start them, I try to help you make them grow. And I'm a part of the Tri-State Angel Investment Group, and that's the goal of the investment group also, is to help businesses in the area create new businesses and new jobs. And I want to welcome you on behalf. I'm also an Ashland Community and Technical College employee. I want to welcome you on behalf of ACTC, and welcome to the facility. You all just missed the fire alarm right before you got here. I don't know. But yeah, missed some of the excitement. But let's go ahead and get started with the rest of the excitement. And the first team up. You're up, right?
They can take it to multiple stores or even to a bank and cash in that voucher, and the money will be used to either buy other items or to put on an account. Some people that have this problem are big businesses, small family-owned companies, recycling companies, and the general population. The other people who will be interested in that product are people who want to preserve and protect the planet, who want to get an award for helping protect the planet, and this can range from any age. It can go to any age group. The economic impact that I have will be the business profits will go up. The environment will start healing, and after the damage stops, we benefit it. And the people in the surrounding areas will benefit greatly from all the money that the businesses will be getting. Here is a picture that I drew of my product and what it will look like. And I plan on verifying it by having it made in the first year. I plan on raising $150,000 to get it made, and that way I can get it verified and have people try out my product to see if they will like it or not. I also plan on promoting my product on social media, marketing it, and finding other partners that so they can help me with this company. My next steps that I plan on doing are making other machines that will help with, they can do other types of metals, and they'll get money back for the metals or plastic bags or paper bags. They'll put those into the machine, and then we'll also get money back for that. Yes.
Okay. Unfortunately, we're going to have to just let the judges be the only ones to ask questions. You can all ask questions later on if you want to, but judges, you got any questions? And you don't have to ask questions. You might have covered the whole subject very well.
Veronica, have you checked into what you can actually sell the recycled material for? Have you kind of looked into some of the numbers?
Yes, I have. And for my machine, I was thinking about having weekly updates because the way the money fluctuates for the recycling for aluminum cans and plastics, I was thinking about having weekly updates. So if the prices change, the money will also change with the money that's with that.
This machine is going to be pretty big.
Yes.
Okay. So give me some idea of size.
It'll be about the size of 2 vending machines put together.
Okay.
2
And will your machine actually compact this material, or it's just going to accept it as it is?
It's going to separate the aluminum cans and the plastic bottles into 2 separate containers, and then we're going to take those containers back to our company and then distribute it.
Okay. So the technology's already there to do the separation with the
inside of the machine.
So you're utilizing existing technology with regards to separating those materials. Any idea of how long it's going to take to fill one of those machines up? I'm a little concerned about the capacity because I could just see somebody coming in with a truck and they load it into the machine and you're paid.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I think it would take about 2 to 3 days to fill it up, and then at every Friday we would come and pick up the material and then take it away.
I just think, I agree with him. I think that it's going to, one person could knock it out, and then someone has to call a number to say, hey, I can't put any stuff in here, and now they don't trust taking the time to go to where this thing is, because every time they go, it's full, they can't get any money. And I think that, obviously, the idea is, you want to get more people to recycle, which is awesome. there's so much awareness about it. And I've lived in Colorado, Idaho, places where we took different colored containers to the street along with our trash, and a separate truck came by that had compartments, and it would throw the cans. Of course, we had to do our part, but we were willing to do that. And it is disappointing. Now, I've lived in Ashland 4 years. I think when we first came, you could like go up to Walmart and take stuff, and maybe there's a place somewhere else now, but there's no awareness about where those places are that could handle the capacity. And these were huge dumpsters that we would take our own car in Ashland to Walmart, but a lot of times those were full. So there was apparently people wanting to take it. It was getting filled with the right stuff for the most part. But I don't know what happened to it. And now if there's just not a market for it, I mean, at the end of the day, whether it's solar panels or whatever, the companies have to be able to make money for it. It's not that they're being greedy, but they have to pay the people to sort that stuff. It has to have value. And I don't know, it just seems like me a more, in a greater maybe potential in our growing awareness of this. I think educating people, making it simple. I think they would do it for free. They would take it out there if someone would come by and get it, and then you could take it to some huge place, and then, because obviously whoever's providing these are expensive machines. It's got to make money. It's still got to make money. And that's going to just recoup the cost of that machine. It's going to take tons of hands. And then the abuse that could happen, the messiness of things that get squirted out in there because someone didn't empty it. I mean, it just seems like there's already a system in place of people are used to that. Be educating them to get your trash out maybe recycle days every Wednesday. And you invest in the colored containers and all that. They help out. You're still making the money on the recycled stuff. You're still accomplishing your ultimate goal, which is to keep stuff in the landfill. But it's maybe spending more of the money on educating and making Earth Day and all these other days to just change the way Ashland is doing it. If it was simpler for them to do it, I think ultimately your goal would be, you're trying to pay them, right, so that they'll do it. I think people would do it without the money if it was made simple for them to do it. And your ultimate goal would be to accomplish some company would make money. I guess my bottom line is there not a market to make money on this stuff? Is that why? Because usually in our economy, if there's a way to make money and there's a need, somehow it finds itself, right? And I guess my question would just be, have you thought through that logistics of the sustainability of these machines, the cost, and is this the best path to get to that? That's just my, I love the idea. I like, I want to be a good steward of our environment and all that, but it's just the sustainability. Anyway, I'm asking the question, I'm also making it something to think about, because I think other people are going to ask those questions.
Good point.
Yeah, I would also ask, how does the machine differentiate if the bottles and cans are empty, and have measured the weight to pay the person, and then the funding of the voucher, to just go to a store and say, you're going to cash for this. Well, the store is not going to provide credit to you, so you're going to have some mechanism for this voucher to be funded, whether it's a smart card or whatever it's spit out. To be pretty good. But yeah, again, concerned about the weight going in there. They're a really complex machine. Size has already been mentioned, but once you collect the refuse from these vending machines, where do you go and how do you make money?
Well, I plan on giving the stuff that I get back from the vending machine, or the machine, I plan on giving it to other recycling companies, and so they can recycle it and make it into something else.
So that would pay you.
Yes.
Okay, we've got, we're closing in on our time for this one. Okay. Anything, Jessica? Okay. Well, thank you very much. Good job.
All right, guys. Thank you all for listening to us and giving us listening to our speech. I'd like to introduce us. My name is Brady Kieran. This is Taylor Button. And this is Reese Collins. I'll just start off by saying each one of us, we're in the gym 7 days a week, multiple hours, so definitely we had experience with this. Also, we train multiple people, So we actually have a pretty good idea of what we want to do. Unfortunately, our Ashland, Huntington tri-state area we've been given the reputation of the fattest area in America, and that's blunt, but that's just the way it is. That's the way it's been said. Our obesity rate is actually at 39.5%, which is highest in America. And you can't say it's because people don't want to be healthy, because we look around, everybody, and people want to be healthy. Nobody likes the way, they're overweight. Nobody wants to be like that. And every day, thousands of people join gyms, and it's just sticking with it is the problem. And we define these problems, and they are that if you get a personal trainers nowadays are extremely expensive. People don't know workouts. They'll go, they don't have proper form. They'll go and they don't know how to do the workout. They might get online, get on bodybuilding.com, do whatever, get online, but ultimately they don't have a workout to help them get to their desired goal. And one of the main reasons is that many people think that you can just lift and work out to be healthy, or without eating right, or you can just eat right without lifting. But honestly, you have to do both of those at the same time, or it's just not going to work. And we see that every day firsthand. So basically, those are the problems today with why people want to stick with their gym. And it's not because they don't want to be healthy. Thousands of people join gyms every day, but they don't have all of these options there at their gyms.
What separates our gym from any other gym is it offers, with your membership, it gives you access to trainers, and we will be the trainers. We own the gym, so you'll have contact with the owners, which is different from many other gyms. You get that the YMCA, you buy your membership, but you also have to pay for a trainer. So instead of walking to our gym and not knowing what to do, you'll walk in, you'll see our faces, meet you at the door, and we will greet you, and we'll walk you through a workout. And if you, we also will offer, as we grow, we'll also offer a cafeteria. They'll be running 24/7. That will be part of your membership payment. And it will offer nutritious food, so you don't have no excuses for that either. Our gym is for the average person. We're average people. We're not special. We're not superhumans. We're not built up. We're not Arnold Schwarzenegger. But we aspire to be that, and we want everybody to be like that. We want to take our problem right at the jugular. This part of the country is the fattest part of the country, and we want to take it head on. We'll start here. We plan on moving around the country and hopefully turn America fit. Not just like eating wheat noodles at lunch like Michelle Obama gives us. We want to pump the iron. We want to run the treadmill. And we want to inspire the youth of America to also want to be fit. This is a great country. It was a great country, and we're slowly diminishing. And we need to start right here.
So, unlike other memberships, you can get a membership to the Y. But with a membership to the Y, you're going to pay your personal trainer different. You're going to have to go out, you're going to have to pay a nutritionist different if you want to get healthy. And you're not going to have access to the workouts. With our membership, those will all be included. If you want the nutritionist help, we'll give you a nutritionist. We'll have a nutritionist that works for us. We will give you that so you can know that you're eating right and lifting, because you definitely need both of those components. You'll have access to workouts. And of course, personal trainers that will be there available. If you don't want them, that's fine, but we'll be there available for you. I mean, that's just automatic membership. You don't have to pay any extra as far as trying to go out and get a personal trainer.
We will not let you run our gym clueless. We'll teach you the form. We'll teach you how to do the weight, when to do the weight, what workouts to do on each day, and what reps and sets as you also go along with that.
Because I mean, bottom line, people want to get healthy. No one wants to be, and no one wants this reputation, honestly. No one wants to be a part of the biggest part of the nation. I mean, no one wants that reputation. So thousands of people join gyms every day. And obviously, if people know our area, we have a lot of gyms. We're very over gym. So, I mean, we definitely thought of that going into this. We're over gym. Thousands of people join gyms every day that are overweight. But the problem is sticking with it. We know that you can get healthy. I mean, it's possible. You can get healthy if you stick with it. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to limit the excuses. We don't want any excuses. If you want it as bad as you want it, we want you to be healthy as bad as you want to be healthy.
Well, we'll try to make our gym as affordable as possible, because I know a lot of us around here we don't have the luxury of living wealthy. So we will try our best to make it as affordable as possible, to limit every excuse you could possibly have to work out and to lose weight and to look good. Every excuse except that it does suck. We're not gonna shy the fact that working out is a pain. No one likes to do that. But once you start seeing gains and you start changing your body, you will get addicted to it. We can promise you changes at our gym. So bottom line is we want to lose that reputation. We want you to be healthy and our members to be healthy as bad as they get. We can make this tri-state area great again. We're too fit to quit. A gym that you cannot quit.
Good job, guys. Any questions?
So, biggest thing with regards to gym exercise facility is not necessarily to get them to sign up, to get them to still be there 30 days after. Right?
Stay with it.
So, I understand you're going to offer this service and make it easy, but there are other gyms, other facilities out there that do similar things, and they still run into that issue of how do I keep people really, how do I make it a lifestyle? Okay, and make it part of their lifestyle. And that's really what it has to become in order to be in that gym 3 or 4 days a week, right? So, is there anything that you all been able to put your finger on that's going to make that different? Because that's really the challenge.
Hi, my name is Emily Dean.
And I'm Maddie Hill.
I'm Zach Stafford, and we are from Russell High School, and we are Hats for Change. So, this is 2016. There are a lot of technological advances. We have cell phones, we have cars, electricity. But in spite of this, we still have many problems that our world faces. There's world hunger, homelessness, there's still diseases, cancer. And the reality is that charities that help with these donations are down because people do not feel obligated to donate. And so Hats for a Change will help bridge this gap.
Now, the reason a lot of people don't feel obligated to donate is, one thing is, there's a belief that other people will donate, so I don't have to. And that's a common belief that makes many people just choose not to donate. However, this just kind of makes a chain of people. It's a bunch of everyone begins to think, well, other people's doing this, and so I don't have to donate. And that, in reality, no one's really donating as much anymore. Donations are getting lower. And so, Hats for Change. What makes us help solve this problem is that not only are you donating to somebody, but you're getting a hat in return as well. So you're donating for a good cause while also getting a stylish hat. This will also increase the donation rates and solve this problem that we're facing.
So our organization, Hats for a Change, what it is for every purchase of a hat, 20% of the net profit will be donated to the charity of your choice. Some of the charities will be the Humane Society, St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, American Cancer Society, Doctors Without Borders, the Warrior Project, American National Red Cross, Planetary Today Foundation, World Division, National Coalition for the Homeless, and the Make-A-Wish Foundation of America. So the customer will get to choose from any of these charities, so some of the designs would be like this. So this one has like St. Jude on the back, so if they were to donate to St. Jude, they would have a hat for that, and then there's an original hat that we would have for our organization.
Some of our competitors are Iriella, which donates for elephants, which is specifically elephants, and Tom's, Shelley Cove, and Trinity. They only focus on one foundation, but like we have different hats for each foundation. So there's like the St. Jude's, so this has the wings on it, so like St. Jude's. And so we have 10 charities to choose from. Our products are also more affordable because Tom's products range from $55 to $120, and Iriella ranges from $32 to $75. Our products would only be around $15 plus shipping, and these other competitions that we face, Iriella, Shelley Cove, and Paul's only donate 10% of net profit, or we donate 20%.
Now, we are mainly going to be selling our hats. The focus is towards young adults and teenagers in the tri-state area. As our business grows, we will probably end up expanding the area we're selling to. But as of right now, for the beginning of the year, it will be the tri-state area.
So I think it's a smart thing to do, limiting it first.
Yes.
I have another question. I guess, why are you, it's good to be conservative, but that seems like such a low sales goal.
That is true, yes. And then hopefully in the future, of course, we can get more. Basically, it's just because of the startup, we need an embroidery machine, building, and we only have 3 workers right now.
So you're starting out by purchasing 100 hats, $500.
And
That's
then,
just the material of the hat, right? So would you be just making them yourself starting out, or would you need a machine? That's
we would need the machine, of course, yes. And I mean, if we get a large amount of startup funds, we could increase the amount sold, of course. And so that would be our starting.
What about the labor costs?
The labor costs. That is a good question. I would say that would probably, we'd start with just the 3, of course. As the business grows, we could get that worked out. I'm not really sure exactly how the labor costs work as much, which is why it's good we have an advisor in Carl Robinson. He can kind of direct us in this type of thing.
Is he willing to do the embroidery and, I've already had some machines, of course he would have a fee per hat, but maybe he could say, yeah, this is the cost of the material, but this is how much my services and everything would cost, my time and everything, that's labor cost, and he's taking kind of risk with all the equipment.
Yes.
Maybe he would, do that for, a couple bucks a hat, but either way, you have to factor that into you raise the price of your hat to 20, or either way, it's going to eat into what you're thinking your profit is. I think your profit is more generous than what you're thinking because of all your costs.
Now, if we did bump up the cost of the hats, we would still be having the quality of being cheaper than the other brands we're competing with. So that could be a possibility, of course. That would definitely be something we'd be willing to discuss with him to try to work out.
So I go to this kiosk, am I going to then, is it kind of your branding, you're just promoting different, because all these are brand, Make-A-Wish is a brand.
Yeah.
Whether it's a UK hat or a Make-A-Wish hat, are you trying to make these charity brands, their logos cool and fashionable, like someone wearing a Make-A-Wish hat, or is it just going to basically in the back say Make-A-Wish, and on the front it's just going to be a patch of y'all's company?
Well, on this one, we did the wings, which is like a symbol of St. Jude's, and that one is our regular hat, a gourmet hat. So they were all different. If we had animal donation, we just have a top, for the logo, so you can tell the difference.
Well, there's plenty of other places that already do things with clothing and different accessories that donate towards charities. For example, Ivory Ella with many different things. Tom's with shoes. Hats is something that has less competition in the market right now.
Why not think about something, because you're going to have to create, again, that need. I got to have a hat, right?
Yeah.
And not everybody wears hats.
That's true.
What about something that everybody has to have that you can use? And I'm just thinking your cell phone, like an Autobox. Something like that it really everybody has to have that you're trying to associate with. Other concern I have is most of these companies that you mentioned, those are competitors, they started out first, I believe, with the product itself. And then to give them a little bit of a different niche, so to speak, to operate in, to set themselves apart from the other competitors that they were running into, they added the donation piece to the profit. That's a charitable donation. So I think you've got to start, I guess what I'm trying to come back to, you've got to start with a product that is really needed first. You're kind of going about it the donation way and then just latching onto something. I would challenge you to find that product that everybody wants to have or needs and then associate that charitable donation part.
It's like a bake sale,
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I don't really have to have these cookies, but I want to help this, I'm going to buy. And what he's saying, I think, is you've got this great idea, you want to control these charities, and then you're just getting someone to buy something that they probably aren't just waiting, oh, I got to have a hat, I probably got tons of hats, and there's nothing different about this hat, but I want to help these people. So buy a shoe, give a pair, that's a great thing. But their shoes are different, they were unique, I think. You know, they got Bob's and other, stuff, but Huggies diapers, they got, or Pampers, they started, advertising that we're gonna start helping this great need when you buy Pampers, and their sales went through the roof simply because they were attaching. So there is a need for that, and people do respond with their dollars to buy products that they buy, but it has to be within the product still, or else.
Okay, we're out of time, so we're gonna start back at 12:10. I've got 12:05.
10:15.
Our competition would be the new restaurant called Butter Up in Ashland. While they do focus on food allergies as well, ours I think would be a better solution because we would have an area to actually come into the restaurant and be able to sit down, opposed to being more like a cafe style. We would have to be more like a restaurant, come in, have a meal. And this is actually our menu that we would use. And it's not perfected, but this is kind of just like a work in progress. And we have many options. We have baked goods, soups, salads, pizza, lunch, dinner, and we have kids meal on the back kids menu. Since there are many children that do have gluten allergies, several of my friends have gluten allergies, and it makes it difficult whenever they go to a restaurant. They have to be very specific with their order to not have bread or get the naked wings, or when they get pizza, they can't really get pizza anywhere. And we will be focusing on the tri-state area, which is about 80,000 people. We intend to start our business off of maybe $30,000 to $50,000, since we would need a building and our equipment and employees and utilities and food. But we would hope to make around $130,000 a year, because we kind of guesstimated saying our meals are around $11. I know some of them are higher, some are lower, but we just said $11 was a good place, and it would take about $4 to make the meal, and then we would profit $7. And if we sold, we guessed about maybe 55 items a day, that we would average around 350 to 400 a day, making it $130,000 a year. Our next step after we would get all of our equipment in the building, we would need to market, and we actually made these brochures that we could post online on the Facebook page or Instagram page, and we also made a newspaper ad. And one other marketing idea that we had was to give customers, the first 100 customers at our restaurant, a free t-shirt with our logo on it, because that really attracts buyers, because who doesn't like something that's free? So a free t-shirt, I think, would draw in a pretty good crowd. So overall, we would need $50,000 to start up, but I believe that our restaurant would be better than Butter Up, just because of the simple fact that we are a sit-down restaurant, and I believe that we can do it.
That's it. Warren, I know you're thinking about food. You want to ask the first question?
I was waiting for lunch to be served. I've been redundant with this with almost each group, but one of the criteria again was how much would it cost to start up the venture, and then that profitability model that you just had on a minute ago. I'd like to hear that again. But do you have any idea what your startup cost would be?
We just kind of guesstimated and said, since we wouldn't be like a large restaurant, that would probably be around $30,000 to $50,000 to start up, just to lease the building and the equipment and our employees and utilities. And then we just kind of based, I know some of the prices are over $11, but we just kind of said $11 is a good basis to go off of. And if it took like $4 to make the meal, and then we profit $7, and then we just said, well, maybe we'd sell, our goal would be 57 sell 55 meals or items a day. So then we make about $350 or $450 or $400 a day, making it around $130,000 a year. That was our goal.
So the $4 food cost, that includes your labor and your space. Isn't that $4? Is that all rolled into the $4?
That was just, the $4 was just the meal.
Straight food cost.
Mm-hmm.
So then $7 would be your gross profit.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
It's a clever name, how did you come up with that?
Yeah.
It
We
is.
were just kind of thinking like,
For no gluten-based type food, they're also lower in carbs
Yes.
naturally, and thus they're something that would go with some of them. So that's another angle I think you could go with, but I mean, when I hear gluten-free, I don't think fat-free, or I don't think, you see what I'm saying? So that would also kind of have to be,
All right, let's hear it for no gluten.
And I'm James Rorstel. And what we have here today is an app that will allow teachers and schools to control audio usage in cell phones. So when students are listening to music in class, not doing the work, the teacher can disable their audio or track it or let them listen to only certain things while they're in the classroom.
So why lyric watch, you may ask? Well, music is a big part of a student's life. For them to help them focus in school, that's easily taken away from the teachers simply because they can't control the volume or the play of the music. But our solution combines academics and music while still allowing the teacher to manage their environment. Now the app operates as a cloud-based server that the students will have to create an account to log into, while the teachers will make an administrative account that gives the ability to control, limit, and filter the students' music. They can also organize the students into classes like first period, second period, and third period for easy navigation.
So I've been asking around people around school what they thought about the idea, and a lot of them said, well, what exactly are you going to do to motivate you to do this? And so what Lyric Watch can do is do a daily login, and the teachers can, choose how long the period is and everything. And as long as the student is logged in for the whole period and everything, they get one login, and then they accumulate it. If they aren't logged in for a day and they're not absent or they don't have a reason, then they'll lose their accumulated points. But the teacher can decide any further reward or anything if they want to give a reward for the points that they get.
Now, we all know school budget, and school has a tight budget and stuff, so with our product, we will keep it restricted to the school buying a license for the whole product, and all the teachers of the school can use that. And we've kept our price pretty low with a $24.99 yearly charge. But we were planning to direct our product to the surrounding areas like Russell, Ford County, Ashland, and stuff, and further on. It is estimated that there is 100,000 public schools in the United States, and with that, with our prices that we have now, it's potentially $2,500,000.
Right now, at the current state, it's just an idea. We'd obviously need a software team to help us develop this, which is around $5,000 to $10,000 to get a license and patent and everything like that. The next step would be we're going to offer a 3-month free trial to the schools, just so they can, because they're obviously going to be skeptical at first and just try it out. And after that, that's when we start charging them. And that's pretty much what we're going to start it off.
That's mostly it. How does this really work? I mean, so a student would not be able to listen, how are they listening to music now?
So this, like students, even myself, I want to listen to music while I do maybe busy work or study.
You're allowed to do that at school?
No,
You do that.
well, most teachers, like usually busy work teachers that give busy work out a lot of work, I can't listen to music through my headphones. Usually they'll play maybe their music and all of their speakers and bang. But we're usually listening to their headphones. But if the teacher has control
basically, instead of playing it through a Bluetooth speaker in the classroom to hear, they're basically gonna broadcast it through that.
And as well, you can listen to your own music too.
So either you can listen to the classical music that the teacher is playing to keep you calm, or you can listen to whatever you want to listen, as long as you're doing. How would they know that you're only listening to it through them and not through iTunes or whatever?
Well, whenever on their administrator account, they could see all their students logged in, and they could see what kind of audio output is being played on their device.
Assuming you be logged into it, but be on your other thing.
We'll see.
I'm just trying to think of the workarounds to where, I mean, the students like me.
Yeah, I mean, there's a workaround for everything. They would be able to track it, and if you would either like sign out, leave, or try to play something else that it wouldn't allow you to do, then it would kick you out and not give you that login, and you would be penalized for it.
So they have to pay $25 per student? Each
No,
student
no.
pays that?
Basically, like Paul G. Blazer. Paul G. Blazer would buy a license for $25 a year, and then the teachers and students can download the app for free, sign in, they use that license ID, and then everybody at Paul G. Blazer, teachers and students, can use that service as long as the school has a license.
Is the app an interface, or do you have to have the collection music in that app?
It's just, it basically goes into the settings of the phone itself, and like where the phone says what it's playing from audio, it just disables or changes or manipulates that specific kind of output.
Maybe you could like integrate it into like more of an app for the school that has more than just that, like high school or whatever, you know, and all these schools have that. And part of that would be where they could get information about things coming up that are not, but then part of it's just a little slice of that bigger app, which is it's integrated with that. So there's more information from that app other than just the music for the schools that is paying a bigger fee. It could be a way to do announcements. You know, I get a lot of Russell did these announcement, pre-recorded, you know, voicemails. You know, this is so and so, no school tomorrow. Reminder that tomorrow's Spirit Day. You know, I mean, it'd be kind of cool if I got a maybe my app, I could get that. And I don't know. I'm just trying to just
Very well
maybe
maybe
expand it.
We also considered putting like assignments on there and stuff, and doing so many assignments.
So it sounded like you're trying to say this is a way to reward you. Kind of like that's what a teacher, I remember when I was a kid, you know, we had record players and stuff in the classroom. You know, so old. I mean, I'm so old. And it was like a reward. Like if everybody, you know, will play music while y'all do your stuff, you know, your busy work.
Well, I was curious, it says many times classrooms are faced with students blaring music that is oftentimes highly inappropriate and unnecessary to the rest of the classroom. So, kids are allowed to play music on their phones in the classroom?
Well, they're not supposed to. Like it's.
Then we have a different issue that we need to solve. Why is that
I'm
going
just
on?
curious.
Well, see, that's another thing.
How that is the problem, but you say that's your problem, so I wasn't aware that that was a problem, because I didn't think it was allowed.
Words like me, that's kind of the way music, I mean, music class, yeah, you got to listen, sing songs and things like that, but playing music during instruction and in the classroom, that just is totally foreign to me.
I think the schools would be really interested in an app that could shut the other kids' phones down from texting during class time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure I really have never texted during class.
There's actually no safety competition.
Well, I know that there's on the computer that the teachers can control while you're on the computer. We're trying to go to another branch within the app. Yeah.
Have you thought about policy issues and things that you have to involve parents in?
You also, like you have to like have limitations for that. You can, like, obviously see every information, all the information in your phone. You can obviously see certain things.
Any of y'all have experience creating apps? That you don't know yet?
Well, I have an interest in doing that, and I also have my brother in college right now going through development, and so I just interested.
Okay. What's the bigger problem? Texting, music playing? What's the biggest issue with regards to inattention with that cell phone?
Well, I think students will be more likely to do work while listening to music, and you can't listen to your earbuds, and some teachers may be lenient on that, But this takes where you can have headphones instead of like, there's complications where when you ban something, people would want to rebel and use it, right? If you can control the rule, then you can have a lot more people doing that, which would work.
Like say, if we're not allowed to listen to music, then when they walk in the classroom, log into that server, then they can prevent them from being able to even play music. So you can't even hurt people. So.
We are from Russell High School. My team and I, Natalie Dirt, Catherine Dirt, and my name is Chloe Porter. So I'm going to begin by telling a joke. How do you make an egg laugh?
Crack it up.
That's one way. But tell a joke. So, summer is coming fast, and it's time to plant annual family garden. Being a gardener is all about healthy choices and loving the environment. So, this is our year to make better choices on how to go about the gardening process. Instead of digging, tilling, seeding, and planting the garden this year, use a garden on the go mat. You might be asking yourself, what are these mats? These mats are able to roll up and be planted in the garden. They are consisted of organic compounds such as fertilizer, seeds, soil, and natural pesticides that can be customized using the internet to have a unique selection of seeds implanted within it. Customizing your own garden from the comfort of your home includes such luxuries as deciding which sides to make your garden, which seeds such as fruit, vegetables, and flowers to plant in it, and which organic compounds you want to be in your garden. After the customer has made his or her choice, the mat will be delivered to the customer's home. Now all you have to do is unroll it, and with a little help and watering, your garden will soon sprout. Okay, so now that you know a little bit about the garden on the go mats, it's time to analyze why are they so beneficial. So for one thing, they're different from just unrolling grass and laying that out in your yard. This is customizable. And the other four top benefits are time, labor, cost, and waste. So over here we have a statistic on our board that has people would garden if they had more time, space. But these four are very important because with the garden on the go mat, time is going to be decreased almost in half. All you have to do is put it in the ground and water it. Labor goes along with time. It's decreased in half. Cost and waste. So with the garden on the go mat, all of the products are going to be placed into one mat. So you're not going to be wasting half a bucket of mineral that you would if you just bought it from Lowe's or Walmart. And the cost is going to be way cheaper as well. This will definitely excite busy mothers who still want to garden and provide homegrown fruits and veggies to their kids. With these benefits, we can compete with even franchise companies such as Lowe's or Walmart, who sell all of their products individually, often increasing price and waste. Also, urban city folks have their own garden that they can put on their apartment balcony. This is more of an urban item than rural. So to begin my venture, I would buy in bulk the materials needed for a basic garden on the go mat. And the basic materials, which you can see right here, are soil, minerals, seeds, and a cocoa liner. Now, most of you won't know what a cocoa liner is. It is about a 1-inch thick mat made of pure coconut, perfectly organic for the earth. Probably provide some minerals as well. This will be the base of our mat. It will allow for water to seep through it for good drainage and hold just enough water in that the roots will be absorbing very well. On top of that will be our soil, minerals, and seeds. And to top it all off, we'll have a black mesh. Now, the mesh is going to
all around the mat to prepare it for its sealing and packaging process when it's going to be ready to ship. The consumer will take this mesh off before they plant it. All of the other mat components will be up to the consumer and his or her choices made on our website. With the help and collaboration of South Ashland Greenhouse and Ms. Mary Childers, we will be able to utilize her facilities and hire workers as needed to assemble our one-of-a-kind Garden on the Go mats. This is yet another benefit to the tri-state area. We will have way more jobs available here, which will benefit the economy greatly. To start the venture successfully for 1 year would require around $10,000 to $15,000, and this would cover things such as insurance, greenhouse rent, raw materials, and maybe some employees. So, how much does it cost to make just one mat? So, referring back to our basic materials, it will cost $2 for soil, $2 for cocoa liners, 20 cents for minerals, and it will also cost another $1 for seeds. Now, all of these together will make a mat around $6.20, and this is just one mat, an average size as well, because the consumer can customize it to be a little bit bigger or smaller depending on their wants and needs. So to profit from this mat, we projected selling them at around $24.95, which would give us an 80% profit range, which can help us cover other extraneous costs. So you might be asking yourself, what have we already done to launch this? Well, we have contacted Ariel Louise Porter, who is in college right now, soon to be a biochemist, and gotten some research from her. Miss Mary Childers from South Ashland Greenhouse, Miss Vanessa Stevens, who is a teacher of honors biology at Russell High School, and Chase Arrington, who is very skilled in the field of natural resources. Now, we have also made social media for our business, which you can see in the two pictures. And we have also contacted other people regarding donations for money. So, with this immense advisory committee, my team and I are destined to continue growing this sprout of success. So, thank you very much.
Already built where you laid it out and done stuff with it and everything?
Yes, I do. I planted cucumbers and zucchini, and they only need an inch depth. So depending on the depth that you need for your plant will alter the thickness of the mat. Obviously, some plants that need 12 feet will not be customizable for our mat. But here's the black mesh, and that is our mat with the cocoa liner and the soil and minerals. Now, in its rolling process, the black mesh will theoretically surround the entire mat. So it will roll just like that and be packaged, sealed, and ready to ship.
All right, so I get it on my front door of my house. It's rolled up in the box for me, and I go out back, and what do I just throw it on the grass? Do I have to prepare a soil? What do I do next?
So the next step would probably be taking the mesh off and making sure you have a nice, and if you want
it's just a top layer of mesh just to keep the stuff from falling over.
Yes, exactly. If you are in an urban area and you might have an apartment balcony, you might want to put it in a nice bucket, a big garden bucket. If you want to actually plant it within the ground, you will, depending on the depth that your seeds will come in, you want to organize a layout for that area. And then all you have to do is roll the mat out and water it.
So I would have to maybe clear an area that's,
yes,
2
just
by
prepare
3.
the area. Yes.
Because I decided what size I wanted the mat, and this is its home. So I just lay it on top of the dirt and water it.
Tomato plants, also, we've got a pot, our own balcony, there, we're making 2 of them. How many, tomato plants would be, what is that, about 2.5 feet? The length of that container? What do you have, like 2 in there?
I would say too, it would also, it would depend on the research behind just the
Well,
tomato seed.
so, at that point, those 2 tomato plants That's what you're telling me here, $24.95. Is what you're selling with an average
Just an average,
mat?
probably a 3x3 mat.
So the next is like 3x3.
Yes, the price and the other customizable options, like I said, with just the basic mat, they're gonna have a range because we don't know what they're customizing to.
I have a question, what made you decide to do it?
Well, I always love gardening, and this year I've been so busy with schoolwork and extracurriculars that I haven't really gotten to get my garden in there yet. So I was thinking, what could just make this easier for me and easier for my friends who also love to garden. So that's kind of how that came up.
Have you grown, have you gone through a season or two where you've used the mat and grown various different types of
Not yet.
vegetables and so forth? So you're still, so really, you're not sure how much you're really going to produce. I mean, how effective is it? How will it compare? I mean, that would be my question. I'm a gardener, okay, and I want my tomatoes and my broccoli and whatever, I want it there every year. For me to switch over to that, I would need to feel like that's gonna meet what I'm doing at least, or be better.
Yes, we have a timeline on our board that has like projected amounts that we will sell and projected activities that we will take during our business year.
So one of the first things then you would do would be to put these mats out, get the various vegetables in, and
Yes,
see
exactly.
how well they do.
Yes, exactly.
Would a person be able to use that again the following year and just use their own seed, or?
Now fruit you can, because more fruits are annual, they just are bushes, you can get the seeds for the bush and the bush will stay for years. But other vegetables, you might have to buy a mat each year, just like you might buy soil each year at Lowe's or seeds each year because you can, yes,
Sure.
yeah.
All right, we're about out of time. Okay, I've got 11:35, so take it away, Sam.
Hope you guys are having a good day today. I'm Tanner Miller. I'm a senior at Russell High School.
I'm Brady Schroeder, I'm also a student.
And our idea is it's a new and revolutionized way of vacationing. The problem we're solving with our business idea is stress vacationing, or people who aren't able to plan a quality vacation, due to stress, or the elderly who aren't actually able, physically able to plan a quality vacation for themselves. How we would fix this problem would be, we have a core of five members, 3 of them couldn't be here today, who would actually be agents underneath this business, and would travel and be, along the way, help them along the way of, planning a vacation, almost having it's like a concierge itinerary type service, where you give us a list of things that you enjoy doing, or if you like golfing, if you like going out to eat at nice restaurants, you like putt-putting, time on the beach. We can schedule all this for you and make sure it fits your criteria of price range. And like I said, people that would be interested in our service would definitely be stress vacationers as a whole. Our target audience that we all agreed upon was middle to high class families of 4, or not just families of 4, but any family at all. Or like I said, the elderly who actually need help planning a vacation, who can't do it on their own. Companies' growth or potential for growth would be, we just kind of start out of like a home type deal at first. We don't actually need an office or a building or anything. And our 5 people, we wouldn't even need to be paid. So our startup was $50,000 that we agreed upon, and because we wouldn't need to pay any employees or have an office building, when we could, you could reach us at our cell phone numbers. So startup fee really wouldn't be a problem.
Oh wow, this is of course a small scale operations. Of course, it could be built into potentially international.
Right. As we grow, we get an office building, get cell phones, not cell phones. We get office phones, people who answer the office phones, people who work underneath us. We planned on actually hiring someone I'm related to as a business manager, somebody up at the top, and you know, actually knows business a little bit. There is a lot of travel agencies that, you know, we could be compared to, but I think what makes us different is how personalizable and we customize your very own dream vacation service. And I mean, it really is, you know, it's cliche, but it really is, you know, it's your dream vacation, and we can schedule it for you. And, you know, really all you got to do is give us a price range, you know, criteria, things you'd like to do. Our first steps, like I said, 50,000 startup. That would go towards, we talked about getting maybe a couple fuel-efficient vehicles to be able to travel down with our clients, but you know, that could vary between one and two. Our first year, we plan on operating on $250,000, and that would go towards, you know, scheduling event tickets for our clients, pontoon boats, fishing, movie tickets, limo rentals, scheduling tea times.
On top of that, like, whenever people go to new places, they obviously don't know these areas very well. And a lot of times, especially if they don't have time to study these areas, we do that for them. We could provide a list to them of things based on things they enjoy. This is something we do for such and such.
I've actually made contact with a couple of owners of condos. I talked to BellaBeachProperties.com, Taylor Means. I actually spoke to him this morning, and he said that he was really interested in my idea. Actually thought that he could, you know, actually help invest and be a donor in actually funding this idea. He said he's had the idea for a couple of years, but just couldn't get it off the ground. You know, didn't have many people to help, didn't have the money to do it. But now he's the owner of Bella Beach Properties, and then that's in Alabama. So, and like I said, the asking money would be $50,000 for startup, and that's it.
First year costs, I believe.
Oh, first year.
$250,000 for in total first year cost. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Warren, you got any questions?
Well, the traveling with the clients, with the vehicles, I would say a lot of people would fly, so that's part of it. But I guess what would you have as an expectation of the charge of your concierge traveling with the clients? Is that the concept that I'm hearing? And you go do the grocery shopping and
right.
fill the refrigerator?
Anything the client needs, we're there.
All of those things. Have you got any idea what kind of charge you would have for that?
It would be, we would probably do it based on like how far it is away. So if we were driving to Destin, Florida, it'd obviously be more expensive if we were going to, you know, Myrtle Beach. So it'd probably be based on like, you know, how many miles we actually have to drive to get there. And like I said, they don't actually have to have us come down there with them. If they want to pay extra for that, then, you know, that's on them. They can take it a step further with our service. But we don't actually have to go down there with them. That's a choice that they have.
Well, certainly the concierge part, you know, going and filling the refrigerator, et cetera, be kind of hard to involve in business. If you've got a person going everywhere that every one of your clients is going, so I would assume that would be more of an upscale, high charge, low volume.
Well, we could also
type of deal. So the main premise of the business then would be essentially as a travel agent?
Yes.
Okay. Have you explored the internet as your competition? Who would be your competition?
We looked at.
Don't say any mention of that.
We looked at. I know AAA around here tries to, you know, it's kind of similar to what we do, but the personalization and customization of what we do to make your vacation one that you'll remember is something that Trivago can't do. It's something that AAA can't do, Travelocity can't do that. I mean, we're going to be with you scheduling your vacation. I was talking to Taylor Means. He said that people go down to Bella Beach and, you know, they'll stay on the beach for a couple hours and they'll get tired, you know, sunburn, get back up to the house, have a meal, and then they won't know what to do for like the rest of the 6 hours of the day. He said that he'll ask them, or they'll ask the client will ask Taylor about, what's fun to do around here. We will be very intelligent about where our client's actually going to vacation. If they're going to San Francisco, they've never been to San Francisco before, we'll look into everything you can do in San Francisco that our client would enjoy doing.
But I mean, you can get this information on TripAdvisor. I've done it plenty of times. It takes a little time, but it seems like you'd have to just find someone who's just so wealthy that obviously you're just really turning into a travel agent. You're just telling them, hey, here's our itinerary, turnkey vacation with the kids. It's going to be amazing. And if you can afford to pay someone to go along with you that's going to take you like to your travel guide there and travel with you, it just seems like it would be such a small percentage of people who have that kind of money and they're already spending a lot, to go on the vacation.
There's different packages that we could offer. We offer like a high class package that would be your best condo. We travel with you. We even offer babysitting, background checks would have to happen. A middle package would be for, like I said, the middle of the high class families, and then a lower class would be for people that want to experience a vacation with us.
I think people that have that kind of money that would want that, they probably got like a nanny. If they want someone to go with them and babysit their kids, I don't even know anybody like that. Well, I guess I do know one family. I think it's kind of funny that they have a nanny, but it's kind of like that. Wouldn't they already have something like that to go with them, like a nanny and a personal assistant who buys flowers for their, or anniversary gifts already for them, doing. I mean, that they're that busy that they can't sit down on the internet and Google what to do in San Diego. I'm just really trying to think of who I like the name. I like the first. I think that's cool. But beyond that, it just seems like a catchy name for a travel agent.
I mean, you know Mr. Kniff, don't you? The vice president of Russell High School.
Yes.
I've been talking about this idea as well, and I asked, I said, is this too much? What do we need to do to make this better? He said it'd be something he would actually look into doing because he has a 3-year-old kid that him and Miss Kniff cannot go have a quality night, a quality adult night on their own because they have a little kid to look after. And they don't have the money to hire a nanny, but with our certain packages offers, that'd be available. We could actually babysit their kid for it. I mean, if that's something that they want. And he said,
I'm not saying they wouldn't look at it, but once they saw the price tag, which to me would have to be pretty high for you to make any money to stay in business to do this kind of stuff, it just seems like, and they say, oh, well, I didn't know it was that much. So you have to make money. If you're going to travel down, that's a saying. I mean, it just seems like that would be, almost like you have to, at the best, maybe partner with somebody already in Destin who would be the babysitter and go buy the groceries. But for you to actually drive down there and do all that, that's just something to maybe think about. And then how do you network with all those people in those different cities?
I think we talked about maybe getting like a contractor with them, maybe one with each city. Like if somebody wants to go to Atlanta, we can contact somebody in Atlanta, contract them to be able to look after their child or be able to go get the groceries, so we don't actually have to make every single trip.
Well, Don gets to stay a lot of expensive hotels and resorts, and most of those places also have free concierge services as well in a lot of the resorts and hotels. So as you examine your competition, that's another place.
I know. I stay at my father books us through Condo World, and we go to Myrtle Beach almost every summer. And with Condo World, and we go up to stay at the Yacht Club over beside Barefoot Landing, and they don't offer any concierge service. They don't. Once you're there, you're on your own. You don't clean your room. You have to clean your room. They don't make your bed. They don't clean inside your room. Your room is, that's completely on you. Once you get down there, it's all you.
Well, maybe the market could be that you specialize in that segment of the vacation to where we're contacting these cities to provide that, and we have people in that city that know that city, that live there. You're expensive, and you don't try to necessarily specialize in the whole. You could do that, but maybe you could. That would be where you could differentiate yourself. Is you're the concierge where there is no concierge area. I don't know, just throwing it out there.
Okay, we've got about 3 minutes left for the judges to wind up. Let's have a round of applause for the judges.
My name is Rebecca Morris, and we're doing this at Ashland. And our idea is to start a business called Freshies and Laura that sells organic fruits and vegetables and meals and healthy meals. We'll have a low cost, so more people will come, and it's not like Subway and farmers markets, which are expensive. The problem is that everyone in this country is like lots of things, firing, like everybody tries to get healthy, but the problem is that healthy food is expensive, so we're trying to make it lower cost for everybody. We are going to keep the cost low by growing our own foods and shipping them more stuff. And our startup cost is about $500,000, which includes the farm and all of its equipment and workers and buying our location. Like some people are buying from us because of like Taco Bell and McDonald's and like $100 food, and it messes up because there's no healthy food down there on Winchester. So we're planning on putting on there so they can just stop by or like workers out there where they work and go and stop there for healthy food. Our food will be made for anybody, starting from babies and going to older people. We'll have mashed peas for babies and meals such as honey, orange chicken, drumsticks.
So you're calling veggies for, but it's just not veggies. Right.
We were thinking about changing the name because it's, you know.
When I read the name, I think this is for vegetarians or for vegans, and that's really, that's what I get from the name. Now, when I read the description of it, it is, you know, you're doing wraps, you're actually incorporating meats and other things. So think about the name. If the name kind of does narrow yourself, when you're just saying veggies. Think about that. The other thing too is when you say $500,000 to start the business, and this is not only for you all but for all of our groups. You know, there's a couple ways to get the things that you need to put your business in place. One is to go buy it outright, which costs a lot of money, right? Buying anything, that kind of thing. Another way is to lease things. Leasing typically when you're starting out is the best option there, because you're not sure of the longevity of it. You're not sure, you know, that you might need to switch gears and so forth. So not only challenge you, but everyone to think, you know, how can I put my business into place?
It also creates seismic activity, as you guys have heard on the news about all the environmental effects. So the solution also solves the problem of the unemployment crisis in our area right now, and that is the foundation of a centralized treatment facility right here in the tri-state. And so it would be responsible for the import of the water, the transportation, the distribution of it, and the treatment itself, and then also export back. So the market status on this is the great part. This is what sells the idea, and it's the fact that fracking has added over $283 billion to the U.S. GDP. Huge number. So that means there's tons of jobs in fracking, and there's tons of money in fracking. In March, that just happened this year, the U.S. started exporting things that come out of fracking. So that means that literally our market expands to pretty much the entire world. Not every person on Earth, but every country on Earth is pretty much a potential customer. Now, there are very few companies who are looking to do what we are looking to do with a centralized treatment facility. What they do usually is they move the infrastructure type stuff to the site, and then they drill there, or I mean they clean up the water there. But we'll show you later with some statistics why that's not a viable option. So there's very low competition, and the market penetration is nowhere near 100% so far, and it's only going to get bigger from here. So why does our area hold a comparative advantage to other companies around the country? It comes down to geography, the decline of coal, and the culture. Geography is we have access to barges. The Ohio River Valley is uniquely available for that. And also, this is in geography, but the infrastructure of CSX railways is a huge selling point. CSX needs revenue. They're cutting workers. They're losing money where they used to have it because of the decline of coal. And so they would provide an extremely cheap industrial asset to acquire early on and to contract out. So the second thing is the decline of coal has led to human capital, which is available in our area. That's just extreme. When else are you going to find educated workers in the field, hardworking people, and they need a job? Usually those people are the ones who have the jobs, but right now they need the job. So the human capital is going to be scattered if we don't act quickly on it. The third thing is the culture of the area. Our culture is uniquely associated with industry. It's a part of like the Rust Belt, you know, it's a part of when we see a factory producing stuff, it's not as much a sense of what is this doing to the environment as much as it's a sense of security. Because the people who live here, this is what gets food on the table for them. Industry is tied with our culture inherently, which is being lost, you know, all over the country. So that's why our area is culturally uniquely tied to this idea and can work. So the bottom line as far as revenue and jobs is that both local and national economy will have an increase in revenue and jobs, especially due to the export of resources like we were talking about. So revenue, there's a centralized treatment facility itself. Millions of dollars are going to be, you know, moving around, pays to the workers. You guys know how economics work, I'm sure. But also, we theorize that there will be an increase in fracking nationwide because the stigma will start to be removed from this. Right now, they can't frack in areas that are too close to urban environments or, you know, in different cultural places in the United States because it's very, very afraid of the environmental damage. And if we start to remove that stigma, that means that nationwide, more jobs and more revenue will be created through this because the increase of fracking and is more environmentally friendly. That's very rare. So jobs, same thing. The centralized treatment facility, hundreds of jobs possibly. But also the diversification of this revenue will create even more jobs both locally and nationally. So the validation of this market is statistically evident. We'll get to that in a minute, and as well as politically and economically. Politically, pressure is rising. Someone's going to break, either the environmentalists, which, I mean, we need to care about our environment. That's important. So we can't break there, and the companies are going to have to find a more sustainable solution, and we want to offer that solution for them. Our first steps would be to get a contract with one of these large gas companies and secure an EPA subsidy, and I will go to Lane about some of the specific finances.
Right. So fracking requires large volumes of fresh water in order to get the gas out of the well. The initial amount of water is about 3,700 cubic meters. 60% of that water comes back up as waste, which leaves about 2,200 cubic meters of water that has to be dealt with in some way. Right now, companies, you know, have very inefficient methods. A lot of times they're fined for it. And the cost of going to that site, building on site a refinement plant capable of handling that amount of water is about $2 million per well. That's a lot of money, and that's really not economically viable. Instead, our option opts for creating a centralized plant here for which we import the water, treat it, and then sell it back to the companies because fresh water is becoming increasingly, you know, more scarce. In fact, because the quantity the cost effectiveness goes up as quantity goes up. So, if we could potentially create a plant that treats about double the amount of water for a 15% increase in cost of creating the plant.
So the startup is only 15% more, but it's 200% of the treatment.
So we could refine double the water, but the major reason no one's done this yet is because the primary obstacle is transport of water. It's very expensive to transport it by semi-trucks. However, we have two other options that most areas don't have access to. We have access to the railways and to the barges. One barge can transport 1,700 cubic meters of wastewater, and one 100-car train unit can transport 11,000 cubic meters of wastewater.
What does a semi-truck get, 30?
Semi-trucks can transport 30 cubic meters in one truckload.
Compared to 11,000.
Yeah, and they only get 59 miles per gallon compared to barges which get 514 miles per gallon, and trains would get 202 miles per gallon. Both of those far more efficient. One other unique advantage we have in this area is the fact that we have industrial electricity fees that are some of the lowest in the entire United States. Our industrial electricity fees are 17.69% lower than the average across the United States, meaning we have far greater margin for profit than, say, if we found it somewhere else.
Okay, so part of the reason that we could start up this venture, even though it's very, very expensive, is because the fines are getting more expensive. So Derek's going to tell you a little bit about one specific lawsuit to one of these companies.
In 2010, XTO Energy which is a supplemental company of Exxon, were fined $100,000 for a fracking water incident in Pennsylvania. But they were also forced by the EPA to invest $20 million into an improved water management system, which only happened to be recycling 50% of water and establishing a 24-hour hotline.
So if we had invested half of what they were forced to invest, if we had convinced our company to invest in us, we could establish 5 permanent water treatment facilities. Now that's not including overhead costs such as like workers and stuff, but it's going to be less than a fifth of that, obviously. And so we could build a twice the size treatment facility, pay for the workers, and create a sustainable method. So what our business plan essentially is we get a contract which helps pay for the overhead price. And then after that, and also an EPA subsidy, because EPA subsidizes a lot of environmental stuff like this, will help cover the overhead costs. And then after that, the profits will start driving the continuing of the company. What we like to say is that we're not just creating a solution to the problem of fracking, we're creating a solution to the problem of unemployment in the tri-state area. Hundreds of jobs could be potentially created by this if this expanded all over the nation. And if we took this as our way of dealing responsibly with something environmentally, as well as creating industrial power. Thank you.
You're saying you guys want to go to people in Oklahoma or Texas that are fracking, for example, and say we want to take care of this water for you, take it to Ashland, Kentucky, treat it, and then bring it back to you to use it, or I guess sell it to someone.
Okay, so 2 things. First of all, there's a model that I'm actually following off that inspired me. Nuclear waste. Sounds really scary, but let me explain. So places out in like Colorado or some places where there's it's not super urban and they have mountains, they actually take it upon themselves as their industry of the town to deal with nuclear waste. And so they bury it in a safe way, and then their economy is based off of that. And so essentially they're paid by the companies to just specialize in that one area. So what we want to do is specialize, and then where we send it back is to refill the depleted area. So if in Texas, a lot of times what happens is they'll take all the water, the fresh water out, they'll turn it chemically unsafe for life, put it back in a pond, and then that whole ecosystem dies.
I know, I'm just trying to get an idea with logistically. So a barge comes here, we pump out all the bad water, we clean it, and then good water is probably put back in that barge, it then turns around and makes the round trip back to where you got the water, and it's put into a pond or some kind of holding tank place where they pump water back in. It's just kind of like what you're saying.
Yeah, so
I mean, I was calling saying, hey, I need 5 million gallons of water, and so he's just coming and pumping the water that we treated here.
Yeah, exactly. So it would be exported to like those areas, or if it was taken from somewhere with sufficient rainfall, we could export it to, let's say, California, New Zealand, or something. Fresh water as an export.
It could be if they're continually fracking, it's like we're just making these continual round trips to the same area. We're picking up the bad water, bringing it here, taking the good water while he's there, he's getting more bad water.
Yeah, that's true. And so we'd be operating, obviously, as contracting, so it would be a long-term view of the business, not just we're going to go pick up this one guy's water or whatever. It would be, let's say, the northern swath, the entire shale reserve that's there, we would contract with that company and say we want to deal with
we might maybe more regional for somewhere here. It could make more sense to put something in Oklahoma or Texas too.
That's what they do now. But like he was saying, bulk treatment is cheaper. So it's the same reason that a person who doesn't have all the tools for making something, let's say making a machine that does some work, if I go out, spend money on education, spend money on the tools, spend money on the time invested to make that machine, it would make a lot more sense to order from Amazon, who's connecting someone who already does that, right? And so we want to be specialized and small in this one specific area, rather than a bloated company, or the EPA, who's now having to deal with a lot of this as the EPA, it's a federal program, will always be more specialized.
So no one is bulk treating right there near where they're
Well, right now, what they do is they leave it in the ground.
The main way they treat it is they either have mobile trucks that go there, treat it, which isn't a long-term solution.
So the answer though then is no one is doing this near where it's happening, the way you want to do it, as far as bulk treatment.
Not as far as we could, not as far as our research.
I mean, yeah, not as we know that it's a fairly untapped market, and I'm sure there are some companies, but as far as market penetration goes, you are very, very rarely going to find the largest industry in the United States at a near zero market penetration for one specific type of thing. Like, that's unheard of, you know. So this is the only time in America where this opportunity, this void of a company will exist. After this, it will be filled up. And also, we see it as really important if we get in the game in our area here to diversify the revenue that comes in so that it's not the same as coal. When coal went downhill, our area went downhill. We don't want, in 200 years, when all the reserves are done fracking, when we have clean technology, we want to be the leader in that clean technology, not someone who is a place that used to be.
It totally depends on fracking continuing to be allowed, and there's so many people that are, just like against coal, they're against fracking.
Yes, that's what we seek to rectify. The main reason people are against fracking is because right now, the way they deal with wastewater is they inject it back into the ground in a way that's very bad.
I thought they were against it, because they're saying, hey, this is causing all these earthquakes, we're down here.
That's what causes it.
Is the deep water injection
Yeah.
that they
You're going to keep putting clean water, and you're going to, however you put, whatever kind of water you put in there, so you're going to be clean, and the bad water that you're going to get fined for is still water.
Okay, well, what happens is, if I don't have a complete understanding of this, but the chemicals in the water causes slipping of like different fault lines and seismic lines that exist, and so that causes those tremors, right? And so we're not injecting clean water back in; we're injecting nothing back
I
in.
mean, you have to have the shaking and going into different places to get that stuff out of there that you want out of there.
From my understanding,
the primary reason people are against fracking, like earthquakes are a part of it, but the main reason is that it's bad for the environment. Is like people have contaminated water systems, like they can't drink their own water. That's what gets people.
So you can take that away.
Yes, we could make it so that they can at least drink their own water because.
Well, and just wind it up to the.
Yeah, but your concept won't eliminate fracking, right?
No, it actually fuels it.
Right. So what's your competitive advantage when they can currently and legally bring a truck in, treat the water, pump it back into the ground? What's your competitive advantage, how you can cost effectively transport it? So when you're in Letcher County, Kentucky, and you're about 30 miles from a rail loading site to get the water to the rail, again, how are you going to cost effectively compete with what they're doing today that's legal?
Well, it comes down to two things. First of all, the reason we can compete is because no one's doing it large scale yet. Give it 10 years, and there will be. So what I'm saying partially is that if we don't get in now, because of this ability for in the future when the companies are required to deal with this, they will need a solution. And the other thing is our transportation, human capital, and culture. Because a lot of areas are not going to be as welcoming with it. The same thing is we might not want to take in nuclear waste, but some communities do because they don't have jobs.
You say now you can do it. You could do it for cheaper than what you're paying their fines for.
Yes.
So you can do that.
Well,
later the fines may be so high that, hey, we can't even be in this business.
Yes, but they have a double side to do it themselves, so if we could come in before that point, often do it cheaper, we'll fill that niche.
Once you see a bandwagon that's already too late. But the thing is, right now is the breaking point where it becomes able. So I don't know if you got all the math because there's a lot of numbers flying. One lawsuit, they were forced to invest $20 million into a solution, right, by the government. They're saying it's done, we're done not investing in this. So they invested $20 million. For $20 million, this startup is possible. Yeah. And then that plus EPA subsidies, because they're having to do with all of these law disputes, all of these different things. If they put another $10 million, that would be a massive.
You just wanted to make all that go away for that company. Hey.
Yes.
All right, man.
And so
we're out of time.
Since we're specialized, that's the
In the portfolio we're getting ready to give you, each page should follow along with each of our individual presentations. Hi, my name is Alexander Quillen, and I'm currently a senior at Greenup County High School. My name is Leslie Lambert, and I'm also a senior at Greenup County High School. My name is Amber Brown, and I'm also a senior.
My name is Olivia Ball, and I'm a senior at Greenup County High School, and we are beyond the ballpark. Have you ever gone on vacation and tried to find a place to eat? Today, most people rely on their phones and computers to do this for them. After doing research for another project, we discovered many discrepancies with addresses, phone numbers, hours of operation of many small businesses in our area. But what is the main problem that we are trying to solve? Businesses have become reliant on traditional marketing practices such as radio ads, newspaper ads, billboards, ultimately depreciating their net profit because of limited consumer reach. We have our problem now. How are we going to solve this? Beyond the Ballpark will incorporate a variety of 21st century connected marketing strategies to expand customer base and increase revenue. A lot of businesses are comfortable interacting with their customers in their ballpark, but there are so many more customers that they can reach beyond the ballpark. That's where we come in. And we'll talk about the services that we offer. New marketing techniques for a new global competitive edge. Our services are proven efficient and effective through our beta test, which is up here, we will show you. Businesses nearly have 53,000 views in 6 weeks of photos we've taken of local businesses. Our uniqueness for our rural tri-state area offers beyond the ballpark a competitive edge. Our business has shown proven demand from local businesses such as Alma's, Bella Boutique, and Gerber's, which is located in Greenup, Kentucky. And several other businesses are also interested in our business. However, we are slowly trying to register all of them with our business. This further establishes the future success for our business. Now, Leslie will speak to you about startup costs.
Beyond the ballpark is not your traditional business. We don't require a physical storefront. We can completely work from our phones, from home, and face-to-face communication. Ultimately, this makes our startup costs more cost-efficient than most businesses that you would deal with. Our initial startup costs would be approximately about $2,000, and this includes advertising, business smartphones and plans, travel, web page hosting, to obtain our business license, and accounting software. Alex would like to give you a quick summary of our business plan.
We as seniors in high school are the next generation of career goers. However, according to the 2014 U.S. Census Bureau, our tri-state area is currently facing an economic and population deficit. This problem directly affects our future, and we believe beyond the ballpark is the solution to this problem. Today's economy is reliant upon the technology era, and for businesses in our tri-state area to have a competitive edge, they must become more globally aware with marketing. In conclusion, Beyond the Ballpark is not only a business looking to grow other businesses, but a solution to the growing economic problem. When investing in Beyond the Ballpark, you're investing in the future of our tri-state area. Thank you. Also, here's some bios that if any of the judges would like to see our beta test work that we've done. Here's the photos where it shows our views, how they've progressed. And then here are our maps where we've discussed with businesses about their location, their hours, various other things. And if you're also interested in social media research, we have done plenty of information and research on social analytics in a binder up here.
So you're interacting with social media stuff?
Google, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, any of these social media sites or programs that would better advertise businesses.
Where are you getting most of your traction? Facebook?
Actually Google. Google Business, Google Maps. Everyone Googles in this generation. And so by correcting these things.
What kind of traction are you seeing on Facebook?
We have actually discussed with Alma's and things like that. We were contacted through Facebook.
Have you worked with them?
Yes. Personally, we set up their business page. Leslie could talk about the Facebook interactions.
We originally went to Alma's and kind of just pitched our idea, and he wasn't very apt to go with it because, but
It was new.
yeah, exactly.
What
It's
is
not
it?
something he has
Right.
no clue about.
Right.
That's the problem we found with most people. They have no clue about it. They have no clue how to put their business, put their hours, most of their GPS locations were even wrong, so people can't even find them. So once we showed him the research we had done and even that his business wasn't even on Google, he was very, he wanted to work with us. So we set
And
him
you
up.
engaged them, what, 6 months ago?
Approximately 3 months, or probably 2 months ago.
Yeah.
It's in there, our show views and everything.
Okay, and since you engaged them to this point now, have you talked with the owners?
Yes.
Yeah.
And what does he think about your service?
He thinks it's awesome. He thinks it's amazing. He's had people come in and say that, oh, I saw pictures of your food on Google, which we had taken, and it brought people in to see, they just wanted to see more of what was his restaurant was about. So he was very impressed with that.
Well, I'm just going to say, Alma's is a great example because how I found out about Alma's was through Facebook. And few years ago, but it just wasn't working as well. And we needed to be in the social media side. And we've been doing some things ourselves over there, trying to get some things going, mostly using Facebook, though, not really Google as much as Facebook. It's been really successful for us. So I think you're on to something. I mean, I really like the approach you're taking. And I do think it's going to resonate, too, with a lot of businesses, especially those that are, trying to keep up with the marketing and trying to keep it current and fresh. So I think it's not logical.
If any of you judges have any advice for future progress with our business, we are definitely open to criticism.
Well, I'll tell you that we do have a great market here, and I'll tell you that because I've done it myself. I'm successful at it. Actually, my job, I used to work at the college with me, and my job was to train people on social media, search engine optimization, and this was 3 or 4 years ago. So you can imagine what the market was like then. But around here in our area, the target market for you would be small to mid-sized businesses who do not have their own marketing. And they would contract that out with you, and there's a lot to be had there. Especially in the younger generation, even things that I know to do the advances in extreme. So you can probably teach me. But there's a huge demand for that as well. The only thing I had not an issue with, but the name kind of threw me off. I don't know if any of the other judges felt that way. I understand the gist of where you guys are going with it, but it made me think it was some kind of a sports or recreation.
Be careful.
Like
I agree.
game or something else. Could you help me understand how this works? Google My Business creation, where your company will get a Google My Business account to help you reach customers who search you. I know, as an example, if I've made a hotel reservation at Hilton and I get on Kentucky Sports Radio website, all of a sudden I've got a hotel ad for the very hotel that I just made a reservation at. So I know they're watching me per se, but how do you help them track the analytics of, is this saying, giving them data on who their people are that's been to their site as to what they do and what their demographics are, or what is the Google My Business creation? How does that actually work?
Actually, I'm going to step up so you can see me talk. Google My Business, Olivia Ball here, her dad owns Dawn's Swimming Pools. Well, when you look up swimming pools, you're not going to find Dawn's until our work helped them find it. With Google My Business, not only are you able to put your business online, but the owner is able to track their social analytics, phone calls made through the Google. Because when you Google something, their phone number pops up. When you click call, that sends to the owner a social analytic, and they're able to see that that person used Google to call them. Also, they're able to add keywords like Italian with Allen's, restaurant, Ashland, all these keywords. So their consumers are better targeted towards restaurants that better fit them, towards businesses, agencies, all these things that are better specialized.
Now, are you helping with that also?
Yes.
With regards to moving them up so that they're top 10?
Yeah.
If you're not top 10, where are you?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you're nowhere. So you help get those, now now you're chasing that continuously. And so that all was incorporated in your service.
Okay, any other questions? Well, let's hear it for Beyond the Ballpark. I don't know about you guys, but I'm sort of blown away by all the ideas and all the presentations. You all did great. Let's have one round of applause for everyone. Whether you're picked as one of the two to move on or not, you guys have already won, because look around and there's some opportunities for collaboration. You know, working together, there's a lot of opportunities that you guys could collaborate. If you got a business that's going to grow, the ladies that were just here could help you advertise. You know, there's some opportunity there. But just look around, because what we need to do in this area is build those businesses so we can create the jobs. What's going to happen now is I'm going to take the judges with me to the deliberation room, and they'll arm wrestle and fight and argue, and we'll come back just as soon as we possibly can and announce the top two. Whoever the top two are, we're not going to rank them first and second, just whoever the top two are will go on to compete May the 12th. It'll also be an ACTC. It's not going to be in this room because there's going to be too many people. But it'll be at this campus, and that's May the 12th. And you will receive a share of $10,000, and you can thank Michael Thompson for that. And
we thank our sponsors for that.
Sponsors, right? But it's exciting, and I'm interested in keeping this going. Be thinking about how we can work with FBLA or somebody to keep us all talking, so that we can help each other build our businesses. So be thinking about that, because I really want to keep it going. There's a lot of great ideas, a lot of good energy here. So with that, I'm going to take the judges with me, and we'll be back just as soon as we can with the decision.